To watch that online.
All right, Chicago now. I think, talking about the weather, we've got some snow on the way tomorrow and Saturday. So if you're making your weekend plans, because I know it's Thursday, it's basically the weekend, okay? Maybe you should plan.
Basically, we round up and then we round up again.
Yeah, let's skip the day tomorrow and then go straight to the weekend.
When is the snow hitting?
Okay, so tomorrow morning, we could see some snow. In Chicago, it looks like it's going to arrive, I would say by mid-morning, 6 to 8 a.m. We could be starting to see some bands move in, but it's this lake effect snow, Anthony. So it's going to be really heavy, and while you're driving, you could hit it, drop in visibility, and then you'll drive out of it. It's one of those things where the bands come
little
and
pockets.
they go. Yeah, it's going to be shifting along the lakeshore. But I will say this, as we head into later tomorrow and also on Saturday, a lot of that snowfall is going to be focused in northwest Indiana. It could also shift into Chicago on Saturday too, but only our counties of Lake and Porter in northwest Indiana have that winter storm watch in effect, where we can see 6 to 8 inches of fluffy snowfall.
How cold is it going to be on Saturday?
In the 20s.
20s?
So not so bad.
Okay, that's good. No, because Theo has his ski lesson.
Yeah.
We canceled last Saturday because remember it was like negative whatever.
Yeah.
And so this was the postponed one. So we'll say 20s. He can handle that.
Yeah. Oh,
he
for sure.
can handle that.
That's what I mean. Like it's mild enough that you could bundle up and go sledding and enjoy this beautiful snow that we're going to have. Not everyone's going to have the snow, but all of us are going to feel the warmth. Next week we're talking about the 30s.
30s. That'll feel downright balmy.
Yes, it will.
That'll feel downright balmy. All right. It is that time of year when the boat show, because it's fun. I think they do this deliberately out at the Stevens Convention Center. You bring in the boat show when people just pipe dream about boats. And I can't wait. We're going to be speaking from someone from the convention, and I cannot wait to bring up the following question. That is, what do you think about the whole notion that that the best day of being a boat owner is the day you buy it and the day you sell it? You've heard that, right?
Did I tell you that yesterday?
Maybe. Am I stealing your own quote?
Yesterday?
Am I stealing your own quote?
I think we were walking down the hall.
Yeah, we were into the newsroom. I want to ask him that.
That's hilarious.
Credit where credit is due. The brilliant and witty Caitlin Cody, everybody.
Yeah, but
okay, I'll add my own question too. I won't steal all of yours.
You can
Don't cry again.
I know. What is wrong?
Starts crying every time we go on air.
Yeah.
But that is that the best policy in terms of boat ownership is not to actually own a boat, but to have a friend.
For sure.
Those are. I mean, I think these are both kind of true.
They're valid. I mean, maybe there are some boat people out there that really use their boat. Maybe they live on the lake. I think the problem is for people who don't have a lake in their backyard, and you've got to store it.
Yeah.
You got to pull it out. You got to.
I mean, even if you have a lake in your backyard, you still have to store it during the winter.
But you could store it in your yard.
That's true. Pull that guy up. Yeah,
you know.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. That's just Michigan.
My friend has a lake house, but the way that it's set up is they do still have to take them out and put them in like a marina that's on the lake. It's not like a big thing, but it's still a to-do every winter and then every spring.
But what about the people who have to put it in their driveway and then just drive it to the lake every time they want to use it?
That's a lot of work. That's a little too much.
Like those travel people who have the big campers. You got to keep it in your driveway.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot of maintenance.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of maintenance.
You know what I want to do while we're.
Take a boat.
This is a little tangential, but there is a cool thing that happens at the Playpen every year, from what I hear, because I don't really frequent the Playpen, but there is a service. It's like a sandwich delivery business model.
Yeah.
Where the Playpen when you go, and there's just boats everywhere during the summer. They actually go around on a little dinghy, and they've got hot sandwiches and
beverages too.
Beverages, you know what I mean? I think that would be fun to do a little ride along with them.
It might be a hoot. Maybe
it's fun to think about the warm.
I know. I've been
temperatures right now
for so long.
I know. Did you get your summer plans nailed down?
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very excited about it.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You got a little camping. The Dells.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. I know. So we're talking about boats, the boat show at the Convention Center in Rosemont. If you didn't that's why we're, discussing this. Also, a local startup is helping Chicago families save on essential items for their babies and kids because let's be honest, life is expensive. Everything is expensive. You know, the joke on Instagram where it's like you leave the house and you spend $100 every time. Like you can't leave the house without spending $100. It's pretty much true. So we're talking to a facility, a local startup that's helping families because diapers are expensive, wipes are expensive, food, electricity is expensive.
We are, oh my gosh, Northwest Indiana.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're joining us from Northwest Indiana and you got a NIPSCO bill, we've been getting, Natalie's got a couple screenshots emailed to her today. There was one house where their combined utility bill was $3 grand. And it was a big house apparently, but that was 3 times as much as they had ever paid in the past.
Nobody's electric bill should be $3 grand, unless it's like the Shed Aquarium.
Yeah.
Where you have
the Shed Aquarium, exactly.
Right. All these
where you're like cooling tanks and like heating tanks.
That's what I'm talking about. The bills are astronomical, but I'm hoping that since we're shining such a strong light on this, maybe it'll get sorted out one way or another, Anthony.
We are also, and we're going to talk to Michael Babcock in just a second, but this is kind of a follow-up. We're going to be talking with a certified professional life coach about toxicity in our relationships, and this is the hook into this is it's kind of a follow-up to the whole Ashley Tisdale thing.
Yeah.
Where she had to kind of exit her toxic mom group. So she's going to join us to talk about navigating toxic relationships.
That's going to be interesting. I wonder if she's just going to say shut the door on that.
Shut the door on that.
Shut the door on that one.
Well, we have a very, I would say, mutually beneficial relationship with Mr. Michael Babcock. It's a great partnership. Is he on the line?
Oh, he's not here yet.
Oh, darn.
All right, it's okay.
I was hoping he would hear that transition.
We've got a couple trenders.
Oh, yes,
okay, so
indeed.
This first one, I'm fairly passionate about, actually.
Oh, I'm passionate about this one, too.
Are you? Okay, wired headphones swinging back into style. The reason why I have wired headphones, first of all, you can buy them on Amazon for fairly cheap. They're not the cost of those AirPods. Also, you're not going to lose the things. They don't, one's over there, one's over there. Your kids aren't going to take them and open it and throw them everywhere. You're not going to lose it in the crack of your seat. Wired headphones is where it's at. I don't know why we ever left the wired headphones world. Maybe it's for working out, perhaps. That's the only excuse. Anyways, wired headphones have been worn by NBA stars Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, celebrities like Drake, Zendaya, Bella Hadid. The trend contrasts with the 2000 rise of Beats and today's dominance of wireless AirPods. That's another reason why, you guys, you don't have to charge them. Hello. Wired It Girls culture, popularized by Instagram creator Shelby Hall, frames wired headphones as effortless, anti-trend cool. The only issue I have with these wireless headphones is they get tangled.
Yes, that's the only issue, though.
Like, mine is a tangled mess, and I have to, like, pull the earbuds out just long enough to be able to stretch it around my chin. I use them at night when I'm laying with the baby.
Before we get to Michael, one of my old photographers, when I first started in this business, so we have these things right here. I'm going to take this off. All right, so it's the IFB cord, right? These can easily tangle up as well.
Yeah.
So he taught me to do this. Actually, you know what? Let me do a little demo here. All right, so you go end over end when you pack it up. It takes a little longer, Caitlin, but you see how I'm doing this?
Yes.
It's like a pretzel.
So you don't.
Exactly. All right, so once you have it like this, and put it in your pocket, it will accordion like, see that?
Yeah, that's nice.
You see that? Okay, so but Caitlin, I endorse everything you just said.
So you use them too?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know.
The thing is, I have the fancy AirPods too, and I never use them except for on live shots. That's the only time I ever use them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I don't think they sound as good.
They're
can
uncomfortable.
lose them. I lost mine for about 6 months until my dad found one of my AirPods in the yard.
Yeah.
They're expensive. You always have to recharge them. They don't sound as good.
Right.
And all those things
all
you said,
of those
I
things.
just echo it.
Now you can, I know Michael could join us on this probably. You can buy off-brand ones on Amazon. I think they're called JLab something or other.
For the wireless?
Wireless, because they're cheap.
Yeah.
And so they're maybe like $20 versus like $100. Maybe they're $15.
Yeah.
But they fit in your ear well. They come with different sizes.
That's
they're
the way
more
to
like
go.
silicone, so they form in. And
Don't pay $200 for the fancy. I am totally with you. I'm totally with you on that. Michael Babcock, can we bring you in on this? Where do you stand on this debate? Are you wired guy or wireless?
I'm wireless, but I'm with you. I have lost. I think I'm on my third or fourth AirPod or AirPod Pros. Graduated to those now, but
You're 500. So you're about $500 into your journey.
Right? Yeah, it's way too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much money. I try and buy them, as I lose them, or the battery dies. Try to buy them when they're on sale. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to going back to wired. I don't think.
It's like a warm bathwater pool. Like, it's just comforting when I put them because the AirPods Pro, I've got those too, Michael. And I have them. I found my lip missing one, but I still just always gravitate back toward the wired ones.
Toward the wired, okay. I might try it, and I'm also going to try the IFB trick too, Anthony. As that gets tangled.
All right, Michael. Let's dive into some of these topics that are coming out of your newsroom today. Lamar Odom. Get us updated on his situation. I know he's been in the public eye, well off the court for years and years, connected to the Kardashian family. What happened with him? I understand he's in a little bit of a situation.
Yeah, he actually was stopped while speeding a couple of weeks ago in Las Vegas, and as the police stopped Lamar, and they said he was going really fast, over 41 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. They stopped him, and they believed, the officers did almost immediately, that he was under some sort of influence of some sort of substance, whether that be alcohol or drugs. Turns out that Lamar admitted that he had smoked marijuana earlier in the day. Because of that, they arrested him for DUI, and they also cited him for some traffic violations, speeding, and improperly changing lanes. So Lamar, initially he says, look, I had a problem with addiction in the past with drugs. People may know in 2015 in Nevada, he nearly died. He was at the brothel, won't get into that, but he, whether he took some sort of drugs or was given drugs, which he says, he nearly died. I mean, multiple strokes. He had serious health problems. Since then, he has sworn off doing any sort of drugs, and he has, by most accounts, stayed on the right path, obviously, until this incident a couple weeks ago. So he has now checked himself into rehab, not because he feels like smoking marijuana is necessarily the worst thing in the world from his standpoint, but he is worried that it could lead to him taking other more hard substances that could really be dangerous and be an issue for him. So as a way to kind of, to cut this off at the pass, he's in rehab now in Los Angeles, where he plans to stay, and hopefully it sticks, and hopefully he can, again, get back on that right path.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a court-ordered rehab visit? This is his own? Okay, good for him.
Now, the cynic in me could say that it's never a bad thing if you're in a situation here like Lamar and you're going to go before a judge, in that you say, hey, look, I had a little bit of an issue, but now I went and I got help, and perhaps that mitigates the punishment a little bit. But that's just the cynical side of it.
Little self-awareness. Is he, before we move on to our next trending story, is he still connected romantically with that one Kardashian?
No,
that's ancient history. Okay.
Yeah, despite Khloe, despite what he might want, and I think it would, he obviously went through a lot, especially with 2015. I think that you can trace a lot of Lamar's problems back to the relationship with the Kardashians souring and him not having them in his life anymore. Because, Lamar had a tough childhood growing up, and, as far as parents being there, not the best stable situation for him. And I think that the Kardashians became that rock for him, and he, they were his support system, and then he lost them when the relationship with Khloe ended. And I think that caused him a lot of problems. Not that it's their fault, not at all.
But yeah, his foundation was kind of swept out
I think
from under.
So.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so now we're talking about, speaking of, another sports story.
Yeah, really, it's all sports today.
Yes. Bill Polian, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So he says he voted for Bill Belichick for his alleged role in Bill Belichick's Pro Football Hall of Fame snub, but he said he voted for him.
And you're going to be answering as a Giants fan here, right? You're a Giants fan.
Yeah, I am a Giants fan, right? And I'll say, look, But Bill Belichick, he in the late 80s and 90s won some Super Bowls as an assistant coach with the Giants. So, yeah, so Bill Belichick, this week it comes out, although not officially, because we don't officially find out until the weekend of the Super Bowl. But we find out that Bill Belichick, 6-time Super Bowl winner as a head coach, 313 wins. I mean, arguably the greatest head coach of all time. He does not get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. And the reason was, we had reportedly heard, was that this guy, Bill Polian, who was a former executive in the league, he didn't like Bill Belichick and some of the things that Bill did during his career. Most notably, some scandals, Spygate and Deflategate. And because of that, the story went that Bill Polian convinced other voters that they should make him wait a year. Well, the only problem is that Bill Polian says it's just not true. He says, look, I verified with the Hall of Fame. I voted for Bill Belichick on my ballot. I didn't tell anybody else not to vote for him. So he is saying, look, I'm getting destroyed in the public sphere for doing something that I didn't do. And that is what he is trying to get across to people, although I'm not sure everyone's going to believe him.
Wow.
Even
Okay.
afterwards.
Now that answers it. Why
Yeah,
this
so
is
that's
kind of
the
juicy
story.
here. Wait, so what do you think? I mean, I know we normally ask you about entertainment stuff, but what do we think happened? I mean, I know we're kind of coming off that wild NFL draft where Shedeur Sanders, you know, there was that supposed conspiracy against him going in the first round. But I mean, Bill Belichick, how many rings does this guy have?
Right.
I mean, he's an objectively
rings.
speaking, if we're using our left brain, he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
and you know what
happened?
I mean, everyone from retired NFL stars, current NFL stars like Patrick Mahomes, athletes from other sports, LeBron James, the president weighed in. I mean, everyone is outraged seemingly at this. And you've had so many people who admit, they say, I don't even like this guy. I can't stand Bill Belichick. But if anybody is a first ballot Hall of Famer, it's him. I think this has been an issue with the Hall of Fames for a long time. But a lot of these voters, I don't know, the power goes to their head or what it might be, but they, if a guy wasn't nice to them during their career, he didn't give them the interview or something like that, they view this as an opportunity to get some revenge. And I think clearly that's what happened here. Maybe it wasn't Bill Polian that riled up the troops. Somebody did, though, because out of 50 people, at least 10 people thought Bill Belichick wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That is interesting. Yeah. I don't know. That is really interesting. It's like, I guess, I mean, if there's a lesson to be learned here, perhaps about karma, maybe his sideline demeanor. I feel like I didn't even know this guy had teeth. I don't think I've ever seen this man smile.
No, not the most, not like the most warm and fuzzy kind of guy, but I mean, gosh, he knew how to coach football. I'll give him that.
Yes, indeed, Michael.
I wonder if they do have a list of qualities that you have to have.
Right, they may.
Do you know what I mean?
But wouldn't put it past him.
Oh.
And he didn't have a couple, I guess.
Interesting. Well, he'll have to wait. Sorry, Bill, you're going to be a second
one more
ballot.
year. He'll get it next year.
He'll get it next year. Michael Babcock, as always, thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'll see you soon.
All right, see you soon. See you soon.
That
gets so political.
Of Bill Belichick, obviously he's done great things.
You've heard, because you said you have heard.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was a reporter down in Indianapolis for a couple of years. This is before I came to Chicago. Bill Polian was, I believe, team president of the Colts at that point. You know, he was kind of, it was Bill Polian, Tony Dungy, and the Colts were amazing back then. You probably remember that, the Peyton Manning years.
Yeah.
Where they were, I mean, Peyton Manning was throwing like 50 touchdowns a year, and so yeah. I know that he wasn't a big fan. I mean, it was the Patriots versus the Colts. That was the NFL's marquee rivalry back in those days. Peyton versus Tom Brady, that whole thing. So, yeah, I mean, he has never had. And the other thing that comes to mind, Bill Belichick, you're aware of his younger girlfriend now. Yeah. So even that has trickled its way into your sphere.
Right.
So maybe that's
Who's
rubbing
voting
people
for this?
It's like sports writers and sports. It's
kind of like the SAG-AFTRA of sports.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame voters. Like I know, doesn't Jake have a
voter? He
like votes for the really important stuff.
Yes, he does.
It's a powerful individual.
What it is like with the sports world. I don't know.
Hey, it gets political, just like everything else. But yeah, across my social media feeds yesterday, I kept seeing. Like you mentioned LeBron James.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is an outrage. And then there was another picture of Bill Belichick. I guess I don't know if it was AI or whatever, but he had all of his rings on at once, and you know, he had 5 on this hand and a couple on this hand. It was just like.
Okay, so what do they get if they become part of the Hall of Fame?
A nice jacket.
Is that it?
Well, yeah.
And like the title?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a very, it's more of a, I mean, they get the jacket, they get a, they will have a statue in the Hall of in Canton, Ohio.
Okay. It's not like a star on the Hollywood.
No.
But I mean, it's like that, but for sports.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's on my list of places to visit with Theo. Yeah, because he's so obsessed with the Canton, Ohio. No, not the Hollywood Walk. Canton, Ohio. Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. We get to do our boat questions after this, Caitlin.
Ooh, let's do our boat questions.
Our boat questions. Yeah, we're gonna really put this guy on the spot here. We're gonna take a quick break. We come back, though. It is that time of year again. The Donald E. Stevens Convention Center out in Rosemont is hosting its annual boat show. So we're going to talk to the manager of this show, Jeff Marquard, about all the latest boat trends. We're going to really put him on the spot.
I'm going to go
with our hard-hitting questions.
Sure.
Yeah, when we come back.
Just about 10:23, and we are talking about boats in summertime again because the boat show is back, you guys. The boat show is back at the Donald Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont. And even if you're not looking to buy a boat, it's a great event to just go
and dream.
Go look at those yachts and think about a summer experience. Joining us this morning is Jeff Marquard. He's a show manager. Thank you for joining us this morning. I can't wait to dive into this because look at this. You don't only look at boats when you go to this event in Rosemont. You get to go on some water with a board. It looks like a great place.
A little paddle boarding.
Something to escape the cold. Good
morning,
Jeff.
To you.
Here right now.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you.
Yay.
Can you guys hear me? Okay?
Yeah, we got you. Where? Okay, so where are you located on the show floor right now, Jeff?
So right now I'm standing in the middle of the Regal booth, and behind my shoulder you can see about half of the show floor.
Oh, very nice. It looks like a big show. What kind of representation do you have at this year's show? Like, how many brands? How many boats? What's the scale of this thing?
So this year we're over 430 boats, which is the third consecutive year we've seen growth. We have all the brands, the top dealers from the area. We have everything from your larger fiberglass cruisers down to your pontoon boats, your ski boats, fishing boats. We even have kayaks and paddle boards. Got a great representation of the entire show, of the entire industry.
I've never been to this show before, but I'm curious to know, are there special deals going on? Can people purchase these boats from the floor day of? And are you guys showing like the latest models? What's the drive here?
So absolutely. Everything on display here is the most current models, and it's the best time of year to buy. And I'll tell you why. First off, the manufacturers are backing it. You will see the best pricing because of the manufacturer rebates. And even better, when you're buying boats at this value, you want to customize them, right? So it's the middle of January. Come on in, order your boat, figure out exactly what you want, and you have plenty of time to have it delivered before spring comes.
Caitlin and I promised that we would put you on the spot today, all right? We're going to ask some hard-hitting questions here. All right, there's a cliche. I'm stealing Caitlin's line right now. There's a cliche, Jeff, that the 2 best days in terms of purchasing a boat in a boat owner's life, you know where I'm going with this, is the day you buy it and the day you sell it. What is your response to that?
So absolutely. I'm not going to argue this because I've had many boats myself, and it is very true. And there's a lot to boating, right? There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of experience you need to gain to be good at it. And that's why, the 2 best days are the day you buy it and the day you sell it. But here at the show, obviously we're here helping sell boats, but we have so many opportunities to educate yourself. We have an exhibit that's called Fred's Shed. We have text there. You can come in, talk to them, learn about the boats, learn about what to expect, what, docking, engine maintenance, all those things. The other thing that I'll say, that one of the big trends, and this isn't just in the boating industry, is technology is growing unbelievably quick. And a lot of that technology is being used to make docking easier, to make every aspect of boating easier.
Okay, so these boats we're looking at, they're beautiful, absolutely stunning, shiny little things. Can you give us, speaking of hard questions, I guess I'll hit you with one too. Price-wise, what are we talking? Low end, high end here?
Okay, high end, you're talking 1.6 million. Low end, and I'm not going to quote you a kayak or a paddleboard. But yeah, you can get into boats in the $30,000 to $40,000 range.
Okay.
Personal watercraft are lower than that. I mean, the bottom line, man, is if you love water, you can come out here and find a way to get on the water.
Yeah. That makes sense. Now, here, let me ask you this though, with regard to that question about best days as a boat owner. What is the major thing that really kind of blindsides new boat owners when they first make a big, let's say they do drop 30 or 40, it's their first time owning a boat, they just bought a lake house. What is the typical person, what tends to go wrong and blindside people in that first year?
I think it's life, right? It's what you don't know, right? So come down here, talk to the experts, learn. Everyone gets that it's fun to be on a boat. You're on the water, you're in the sun, right? You go swimming, you go fishing, whatever the aspect you want to get into. But it's the other parts. What's the maintenance? How frequently do I need to change the oil? How frequently do I need to do this and that? What do I do with the boat come wintertime? How do I learn to dock? It's not like parking a car. There's a twist to it. So come down here, talk to the experts, get a good understanding of those portions of it. And by all means, we all can get behind pretending that it's, the middle of July and it's 80 degrees and sunny and we're out on Lake Michigan. That's the easy part. That's the part that everyone loves. It's take this opportunity to educate yourself.
Okay, Jeff, I've got 100 babies at home. I'm seeing lots of kids in these pictures that you guys are showing. Can we talk about the other displays that you have to offer if a family wants to come out to visit this weekend?
Absolutely. This is for the whole family. We have our family zone. Within the family zone, we have trout fishing, so you can actually catch and release real trout. We have bumper boats right there. Kids under 12 can actually jump into a bumper boat and cruise around. We have a paddle fest, so if you want to try a kayak, you want to try a paddleboard, you can jump on the water and give those a shot. We even have a surf simulator this year.
Oh, a surf simulator, like with the with a manufactured wave?
So wear bathing suits then?
Absolutely.
So you got to bring your suit out there.
No, so that one is not actually in the water, but yes, if you're paddleboarding, you could possibly get wet.
That's so fun.
I'd send Jake Hamilton there.
I love it.
Well, he was trout fishing. He was trout fishing.
Unsuccessfully.
Oh, what about in terms of tickets, and how long does the show run?
So the show runs through this Sunday, which is February 1st. You can get tickets online at chicagoboatshow.com. Costs $15 online. We can also sell you tickets here at the gate, and it costs $17.
Jeff, do you guys have food? Do we need to feed everybody before we come?
So no, there is food here at the show.
Awesome.
The other advantages here at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center, there's a whole entertainment district right across the street on the other side of the parking lot. So obviously you can eat here, but you can also shoot across the other side of the parking lot, grab dinner, grab lunch, and then you can come back to the show.
Yeah, that's super convenient. It is, once you get in there and park, it is super convenient with that. There's tons of restaurants right on there as well. All right, very cool, very cool. Runs through Sunday. Jeff, Mark Ward, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Seeing those paddle boards out there, when I tell you, like, you know, when you think about the future and one day you're going to downsize and where you're going to be,
Right.
My only image is living on a lake in my older age with a paddle board and going on a lake every day, just paddling around.
You and me
standing
both.
up. I guess on the
You and
warmer
me
day.
both.
I don't, you know.
I have that exact.
Do you really?
Exact.
No way.
Exactly, because we, you know, running a household, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the idea of, I mean, already, it's like we've got 15 years to go before we're even remotely entertaining this, but exactly, you downsize.
Oh, yeah.
And I spent childhood, I'm sure as a Michigan person, we spent so many summers going up, friends always had lake houses, but like over in Wisconsin, and these places in Michigan and Wisconsin, there's so many lakes and they're beautiful, they're kind of cozy.
Small little cottage.
Yeah, there's usually like a supper club nearby or a cool restaurant or bar nearby, and then everyone's friendly.
Maybe, especially if you're by maybe Lake Michigan. That's what I always do. Like, you know, when you go on Zillow and you look at houses for fun.
Yeah.
I always go on Zillow and look at these little neighborhoods right up by Lake Michigan. You could go hiking on the dunes and in the woods.
It's a really cool, I mean, that's a great long-term plan. The only thing that concerns me, and this does go through my head, is like, would you be happy there during the winter? Would you be bored? Would you be cold? Do you think you'd be cozy?
In the woods.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got a fireplace going.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe like some.
So are you picturing it more like down south? Like you want to be like in.
No, I always picture Michigan or Wisconsin.
Yeah, me too.
Always. And then,
Also,
you know, as a pipe dream, you know, maybe you have like a little condo or something closer to the city or in the city so that you can
pop over to
the
exactly.
City. Wouldn't that be ideal?
Yes. Also, side note, there's nothing that could like get you, like wildlife that'll like get you in the woods. Do you know what I mean? Because if you move down south, you go to even like the Appalachian Mountains, there's bears. There's
Going
bears.
on in Florida,
But you go over
gators.
to the dunes, there's gators, there's cougars.
There's Burmese
mountain lions.
pythons in
but
Florida.
In the Indiana Dunes State Park, you're not going to run into anything but a little maybe garter snake.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to get eaten by a creature. So that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. We can dream. We can dream. It's fun. We got to dream.
30 years from now.
Exactly. All right. When we come back, we are going to be joined by the CEO of a startup called Kidsy. We know firsthand as parents how expensive this is. These stats, Caitlin, it used to be like you spend $250 grand on each kid before they reach the age of 18. That's like before college. It has gone up in terms of daycare, all the supplies, babysitting costs, the list goes on. Butt cream. But a local startup is helping Chicago families save on essential items for their babies, for their children. We're going to be speaking with the founder when we come back after this.
Who here is
exactly.
All right, it is just about 10:36. We are chit-chatting up about our kiddos. We're all, as you mentioned.
We're all in the thick of it.
We're in the thick of it.
All of us.
Okay, so a local startup is helping Chicago families save on essential items for their babies and kids by reselling brand overstock and open box products. I love this.
This is great.
Families can save up to 70% through Kidsy. And here to tell us more about it is Tracy Tandon. She's the founder and CEO of Kidsy. I just want to pronounce that D so you don't miss it. Kidsy.
Yes.
Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Good morning
I love
to
this
you.
idea.
I do too.
Open box is the best, and especially when it comes to kid stuff. If you haven't used it, why not do the open box option? So what inspired you to start this?
Well, I come from a journalism background, so I am not a traditional startup founder. Didn't go to Stanford, Harvard, was not a consultant or an investment banker. I actually experienced the pain points myself. I love shopping TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, getting things, you know, either secondhand, open box, sustainably. And when I became a parent for the first time, I thought to myself, where is the TJ Maxx for baby gear? Why can't I get strollers, car seats, bassinets, toys, everything they're going to outgrow in a couple of months at a deep discount, and still shop sustainably?
Great thought.
I was so tired of doing these scary deals on Facebook Marketplace, meeting strangers in parking lots, and I thought there's got to be a better way, so I went out and built it.
This is great, and it's not like anything sketchy happened to us, but all right. The snoo. Okay, you guys know what the snoo is? All right, this is this like wildly technological bassinet, essentially. It like shakes your baby, but it soothes them, and they're expensive. So we did that.
Yeah.
But we did the whole thing where you go on Facebook, because these things are so expensive.
$1,500.
$1,500. So we got it. You know, we got ours for like $500, right? We used it for 9 months. It actually worked out really well.
Did it?
We kept the box and everything because we knew we were going to do it again. But this speaks to, it actually speaks to what your model is, because this is the route that we got to go to save money. But it is kind of a pain. You don't know these folks that you're interacting with online.
Correct.
So how does Kidsy solve this problem and kind of streamline everything?
So here's a little secret that a lot of consumers don't know. And I'll share a little fun insider term for you. January and February, typically in the retail world, is called Returnuary. And the reason we call it that is because we see tons of customer returns coming back. Every year, it's to the tune of $900 billion. That's the merchandise value of all customer returns in the United States across big box stores. When those returns come back to a store, most stores don't reshelf them because the box has been opened, the factory seal has been cut, or maybe the box is a little damaged because it's made a couple of trips, you know, through UPS or FedEx. And the retailers don't know what to do with it, so most of the time it goes to landfill. Well, that's where Kidsy comes in. We partner with some of the biggest baby brands and retailers across the United States. We take their customer return open box products and we sell them to parents nationwide at up to 60% off retail price.
Look at
That is really great.
I am so proud and happy.
This is awesome. Now, how do you quality control the stuff? Because like some stuff comes back in better shape than other stuff, right?
Great question. So quality control is super important to us at Kidsy because as parents, you know, you want to be able to trust in the product, make sure it's clean, hygienic, safe, and it comes with all the bells and whistles that you are buying it for. So it goes through 2 QC, quality control checks, first from the brand and retail side, and then from Kidsy's side. So we have developed proprietary technology to inspect, grade, and price these products. So you can get new open box, you can get floor model, which is a scratch and dent.
Right.
Typically, you've never seen scratch and dent in the baby industry. It's always like a refrigerator or you know, a washing machine, you can get scratch and dent. But we're like, parents need savings more than ever before. So we're here to give it to them.
Okay, so tell me about how we can shop for your stuff, because is it online? Do we have to go to your warehouse to look at what you have available? What's the deal?
Yeah, so 90% of consumers today love shopping online.
Yeah.
E-commerce is overtaking brick and mortar traditional retail. So Kidsy is exclusively online. It's kidsy.co, kidsy.co, and everything ships within 2 to 3 days right to your doorstep.
This is amazing.
Yeah. What are some of the most popular items that would be good to go through like a Kidsy? I mentioned the snoo.
Maybe
Okay, that's the one that really comes to mind because that's one You don't need this thing forever.
No.
You use it when they're babies, and then you want to get rid of it, and you don't want to drop that 1500.
Exactly. So, you know, we had the snoo in stock for a very long time. It was super popular. I think some of the big ticket items that move on Kidsy are infant car seats, because kids use them for like 6 months.
Right.
Can't leave a hospital without an infant car seat. It's an essential product. And they cost hundreds of dollars. Toddler car seats, boosters, strollers, travel systems, and toys. We've got such a robust toy category. You know what I love about Kidsy and what we're building is, for the first time, the word discount and sustainability can be in the same breath.
Yeah.
You rarely ever see that, because discount is such
Yeah, I've heard that too. It's like the most, everyone's like EVs and sustainability. The best thing you can do for the environment is to buy a used car.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, you know, you're not adding to any carbon footprint of manufacturing or anything like that. What else do we need to know about if we want to get up and running shopping on this platform?
Yeah, I think, you know, prices are continuing to go up. As you mentioned earlier, Americans are eating the cost of the tariffs. I know President Trump has said, you know, a lot of the tariff cost is going to be borne on businesses, importers, exporters, but we're actually starting to see, and you can see this at checkout, you know, Americans are actually eating 90% of those tariff costs. And we can't control what happens with government, with policies, but we can control where we shop and how we shop.
So all of your items you said you could do like non-open boxes. So some of these items were returned to the store that hadn't been opened first. So if you wanted to buy it maybe as like a gift for somebody, you could still buy it new, just at a discounted rate from your website.
Yeah.
And then also, are you guys thinking about expanding into like children's clothing?
Well, it's interesting. Clothing is actually very saturated, so it's not hard to get clothes. You know, you can still walk into a Walmart or Target and get a super cute clothing outfit for $15, but you cannot get gear at that low price point. And that's really what we're offering parents, is how do you access these essential gears that are hundreds and hundreds of dollars, continually just, you know, piling up the cost. And that's really where we make a dent.
What about folks who are concerned that, okay, they go through your platform, something arrives, and it is not in as good shape as they were hoping? What recourse do they have via your platform?
We have a customer service team that is online 24/7, including the weekend. We do accept returns and refunds. All you have to do is snap a picture and let us know what was wrong with it, and we will happily take your product back. And I think that's the beauty of having a platform like Kidsy, because for so many years, parents were reliant on these neighborhood websites or these, you know, buy sell free groups on Facebook. And if something were to go awry, there's no customer service there to help you fix the situation. Oftentimes, you can't even reach the person who sold it to you. But at Kidsy, you know, for us, parent happiness and just comfort, ease, making sure that they know exactly what they're getting and what they're paying for is top priority for us.
We were talking with Natalie, our coworker who's going to have a baby in a matter of weeks, about like how it's hard to get baby items, to your point, like for cheap. But she was talking about, even like we had someone on talking about traveling and how it's hard to get those items when you're out and about. So this, I feel like, would be a good option. So if people want to follow your journey as this business owner, I mean, obviously you're doing very well. Do you have a social media account or something that they could follow and see what's being posted?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're Shop Kidsy on Instagram and Facebook. We're active on LinkedIn as well if people want to connect with us on a more sort of professional level. And then our website, www.kidsy.co.
Very cool, very cool. Any other items you want to give us before we wrap up here? We mentioned kind of like strollers. We got car seats.
We have owlets.
Toys.
Yes, we do.
What are some other big, what's an owlet?
It's something to monitor the baby on their foot, and it's,
They sleep,
some people don't like it. I swear by these things.
What?
Because you know when you first bring your newborn home and you can't see if they're breathing, so you look at them really close.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You can't shut your brain off because you're worried about your baby. So there's this device that you can put on a sock, basically on their foot, and it has a dock, and it'll light up green if it monitors the oxygen level and the heart rate of the baby. And then if something were to drop too low, or maybe the baby gets in a bad position, an alarm will go off and it'll wake you up.
Oh, very nice.
So when I tell you, I was religiously putting that thing on my baby's feet every single night. I'm so glad you guys
Oh
have
man,
it.
I didn't even
Yes,
know they
me
existed.
too.
I'm glad ours survived.
It's $100 cheaper on Kidsy. It is a medically approved device. I think every parent has I think it's like the rite of passage of parenthood. Like at some point, we've all woken up in the night to see
Oh, for
their
sure.
baby breathing.
Yes.
Or why have they slept longer than, they usually have.
$100 cheaper. And by the way, you can size that foot up to about 30 pounds. So you can use
Hey,
that.
listen, as soon as they come up with the microchip technology,
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We're
Caitlin and I
tracking
want to
these babies.
microchip our
Track your kids.
Literally, like underneath the elbow skin. They'll
Yeah.
never know the difference, and we can just monitor them at all.
Right.
I think right now there's a watch on the market. I forget what it's called, but it tracks your child. But yeah, I think, at least the watch.
Oh, yeah, no. Our kid just lost his Apple Watch. Theo,
Lost
you
his
lost
Apple
your
Watch.
Apple Watch. Exactly. So we had, and that was good because you could track.
Yeah.
And then it's off, so we can't do the Find
But
My.
if someone takes our kid, they're going to take the watch off.
I'm taking notes here,
Exactly.
guys. Apple Watch is maybe the next thing we need to get on Kidsy.
Yeah, I think so.
Watch,
And then as soon
yes.
as they come up with the underskin, tracker.
Yeah. Do you know what this part of your body is called?
What's it called?
I'll tell you on the commercial. You know what
It's a vulgar word.
I think it's a weenus.
Oh,
What?
I'm pretty sure.
we're gonna have to Google that. But I remember, it can't be hurt. You're like, you
Exactly
can't hurt that part of your
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
No nerves in there or
Yeah.
something.
Learn
But
something
we
new every day.
digress. Thank you so much. What a great platform. I
love
can't wait to
this
browse
idea.
it.
Thank you.
All right.
Kidsy,
Yeah, and she is
Kidsy.
Tracy Tandon, founder and CEO of Kidsy, Kidsy. All right, we will be right back after this. We are going to learn more about navigating toxic relationships and toxic friend groups
Yes.
when we come back after this.
Good news for people with Medicaid.
All right, 10:49. We're talking about relationships, okay? We got through the holidays, starting a new year, new you, and we're going to discuss how you can get through some difficult relationship issues, especially because it's been across the headlines, this Ashley Tisdale toxic mom group story. So we're going to learn how to navigate dynamics like that with Ginny Preem. She's a master certified professional life coach. Thanks for joining us this morning, Ginny.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Okay, so let's dive into first the reality TV moments. They reveal these emotional conflicts, especially amongst women. So how should we approach this in our own life?
So I think what we're seeing here is we see not messy people, but messy emotions. And so when you apply that to yourself and you are having difficult conversations or experiencing toxic relationships, we try to fill in the dots, right? We try to figure out what the other person is thinking, what their intentions are. But before you decide to make an exit, I like to consider or ask you to consider doing an edit of that relationship first. And I actually have some steps in how you can do that so that you understand exactly where you're coming from in those dynamics.
All right, so what does it mean to edit?
So edit is kind of evaluating the relationship, right? So sometimes we think about relationships and how close they are to you. So is it sort of a tier 1 friendship, tier 2, tier 3, right? Like how close is that relationship? Then you can look at how you are going to participate in that relationship moving forward. And so I have this unsubscribe filter, and as it pertains to relationships, there's 4 pillars, but this topic specifically, I would say we can apply 3. So manage is, how do you want to engage in this toxic dynamic or this relationship moving forward? You can look at managing the type of interaction, the duration, the frequency. Maybe you do, if it's not as important of a relationship, you can take a little mute. You can take a break and take a temporary step back to further evaluate what that relationship looks like before you do the ultimate block or, exit that relationship altogether.
Okay, so these are very divisive times amongst family and friends, especially on social media. I've seen so many posts saying, if you think this, I'm deleting you because of that. Mm-hmm. Do you think that, politics and opinions about the state of the world should dictate whether you remain friends with somebody or not?
That is the question of the century. I am seeing that also a lot. And people close to me that are ending relationships over politics, religion, these things that are happening right now. And look, that is certainly a very personal decision, but I do think that before we jump the gun to just be like, hey, I'm removing somebody from my life over this, we have to do some self-reflection. And that's where kind of taking a beat, taking a pause, taking a step back before we make rash decisions. I have this whole concept of, because like I said before, we're not really dealing with messy people. We're dealing with heightened and messy emotions right now. So if you can start to regulate that for yourself and understand where those are coming from, it's going to put you in a better place. So we all have reactions, right? We all have these reactions, things that trigger us, that bother us, that we feel passionate about. But if you can observe your reaction before you respond, and sometimes even if it just takes a minute, and say, look, this conversation is making me uncomfortable, or I don't like the direction this is going, there can be a lot of power in that little pause and observing your reaction so that you can respond in a more calm manner, because I think that's what's driving a lot of this.
I really like your notion of like these tiers and maybe demoting someone who isn't like delivering. Mm-hmm. I want to bring up kind of a metaphor here. That decluttering expert, Marie Kondo, when it comes to our personal objects, I remember one of her rules of thumb was, if you look at the object and that object does not bring you joy, if there's a negative association with it instead of a positive one, she's like, that means it's time to get rid of this object, okay? Yeah. Do you have any rules of thumb, Ginny, about toxicity? If you are wondering if you are in a toxic friendship or friend group, a rule of thumb like that where we can gauge, okay, is this person or is this group healthy for me or not? And does this person or group need to be demoted to a lower tier?
I love that metaphor. And I think the way to use that exact metaphor and apply it to relationships, instead of the word joy, I would insert the word relief. Do you feel more relief when you don't have that person in your orbit, or you're not spending a lot of time with them? Because what you may find is, if it truly is a toxic relationship for you, and look, I think we throw around toxic so much. I don't want to go labeling people as toxic, but maybe they are toxic for you or just not right for you at this time. So if having them less in your life brings you more relief, that could be a really good indicator. Yeah. And then what starts to happen is, if you truly are removing toxicity and negative relationships from your life, I've experienced this myself, the healthy relationships start to flourish, and then you start to welcome in more aligned relationships into your life.
Okay, what if there's somebody who's watching who wants that? They want more people in their life that align with what's going on with them currently. Where would you suggest that they find these people? Because I know, relationships, for example, young folks are steering away from using their phone and these dating apps and things. Do you have any advice on how to find your people?
There's so many great options, and I feel like we're kind of going back to, like you said, I think people are moving away from being on their phones all the time and wanting to have that connection, and people are looking for more real connection. So get out. Go meet people in person. Go do things that seem a little bit old-fashioned. Do some networking. I went to a business networking event a few weeks ago, and I hadn't done that in so long. And it was such a great opportunity to meet other like-minded people. And so I would say ditch the phones, like you said, and get out and meet people in real life.
One more question. We've got about a minute left here, Ginny, but when you do need to kind of edit one of your relationships, do you have any strategies on how to go about doing that in a healthy way where it may minimize the drama? You don't want to drop them like a bad habit or whatever the phrase is, but it kind of tactfully removing yourself from a situation, or unsubscribe, as your book is titled?
Yeah, thank you for that. So a couple of different options you can do is there is a method. If it really is a toxic person, you can do kind of like the gray rock method, where you slowly back away. You just maybe have the interactions be different. You don't have to make some big announcement about it, right? Relationships can change and evolve over time, especially if you don't want any ill will. It doesn't have to be like, I'm ending this relationship and, you're no good to me anymore. It can just be that slow, gradual removal, or maybe it is removing yourself from that toxic group text chain that you didn't want to be in the first place. Or maybe it is just saying, look, I think we need some space right now, and then see how it goes from there. Because maybe you could come back together at some point if things become more aligned again. Or maybe just kind of celebrate what the relationship was for that time, instead of it being such a harsh sort of interaction.
That's very sensible.
All right,
very sensible.
Ginny Preem, she wrote a new book called
Unsubscribe.
Go find it today.
Let's see the cover once more. There it is right there.
Thank you so
Why
much.
letting go is the secret to getting ahead. Ginny, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right.
I'm going to leave you with this, you guys. This morning, I was doing my YouTube video, light lift video, and at the end, it had a challenge that I wasn't ready for, didn't anticipate. It was a plank challenge. Get in my plank, and this thing lasted for 4 minutes, and I did it.
You did it.
So I'm challenging you at home and you, Anthony.
She's challenged me. I'm going to go
today.
upstairs and do it.
4-minute plank
A 4-minute
challenge
plank
today, and here's the rules. You can use your arms, and if you get tired, you can go up onto your hands, but you can't bring your knees down. That's the rule.
You got to keep your legs extended.
Legs extended, body doesn't touch the ground. 4 minutes, you can do it.
Okay,
Let's
I'll
go.
keep you posted. I'll let you know tomorrow
Can't wait.
if I made contact with the ball on that one. All right, another hour Chicago Now starts in about 84 seconds, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
The force is
11 o'clock hour of
Yes.
Chicago Now. We have some exciting stuff, especially at the end of our show.
I'm looking forward to the end of our show. Well, I'm looking forward to the whole show.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We don't want to rush through it.
Of course.
But we
But
do
we have a
have a
special
jam-packed show.
performance.
Tomorrow we have a good show. I mean, every day we've been just killing it.
I think
Having
so,
really
too.
good shows. So I'm happy to be
Goes
here.
by in a
But
flash.
I'm even happier because this is Friday Eve. It's a different vibe when you wake up and you know, I'm almost to the weekend. And it's not that I don't like being here. I adore a lot of my coworkers. A lot of my coworkers.
You didn't say all.
Not all. That's life. But overall, I love coming to work. I love what we do every day. And so
I will say,
I love
feel
it.
like the week has gone by kind of fast.
Kind of fast?
Yeah.
Maybe because it's been so good.
Maybe.
It's been such a good week that it's
Yeah.
gone by so
We've
fast.
had good guests. The sun is shining, but it's just too cold.
And I do want to retract my statement. I like my coworker. I like being here. I like my work. I do.
Yeah, me too.
I'm killing. I love my stories that I come, that we get to put on.
You don't have to convince me. Let's talk about what's coming up, shall we? Shall we?
Let's talk about what's coming up.
I feel like that had a hidden message that I did not intend to have.
It did, but it's okay. Let's talk about a preview of the Bold Beats. That's what she's talking about in terms of a live element of our show and having some fun. Drumline Live at the Auditorium Theater. They're going to be in the house with us. And then Abolish ICE submitted 9,200 times for Chicago snowplow naming contest. That's one of our neighborhood news stories today with Block Club Chicago. Did you submit any names for
No,
the
I haven't
snowplow?
actually, but I looked
I
today.
did.
And you did?
Yeah, I didn't look to see if it made it. Bear Down was one of them.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
That was one of them. And then I submitted another one. I don't remember what it was. I don't know. I can't remember. I have to go back and look.
Because you can use ChatGPT, like some AI, in order to make
That's true.
Because they're so kitschy and stuff like that. I was looking down the list, and a reason why
Was Bear Down
abolished
on there?
ICE. No, I just saw the winners. I don't think
okay.
they announced the winners
Okay.
yet.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you even see the submissions once you submit it? Like
No,
what some
I
other
don't
options
know.
were? I don't think so. I think they just will.
We'll find out. We'll
say who the who the submissions. Well, obviously they have to know because part of what
because
Block
we're
Club is
that.
talking about.
So you saw Abolish ICE on there?
Yeah, well, that's what we're saying. That
Yeah.
abolished ICE was submitted, 9,200 times to this database. So,
wow.
Interesting
Okay.
to know.
Very interesting. I want to hear more about that. But I'm curious too. Will they pick that one because it's controversial? Does that matter? I know. I know the mayor supported it. Got behind
we
it.
have Mrs. O'Leary snowplow, and then we have
Abolish ICE. I don't know.
Snowplow delete or whatever. Or all. What is it?
Control snow. I don't know.
Control
delete.
salt delete. That's what it is.
That's what it was.
That's what
yeah.
it is.
So I don't know. That's interesting. But first, new data shows suburban office vacancy rates hit record highs at the end of 2025. And what does this mean for buildings? Also, what does it mean for taxes? Because when we see businesses not filling some of these businesses or buildings, I should say, and if they leave, if that building's vacant, whatever, it does impact taxes as well. We want to bring in Chris Cummins. He is the managing director for Suburban Agency Lead for JLL. First of all, thank you so much for being here. What's really startling is this number right here. It says that vacancy rates in the suburbs highs over 32% at the end of 2025. It could be giving some insight on how companies are using office spaces after the pandemic. When you hear that number, should that be alarming to people?
It is high, but the good news is, the market's resetting right now. It's, companies are finally making decisions. They've gone to this hybrid model, and it's taken some time for them to get to this point. Just going back on history, our supply of office in the suburbs in 2017 was about 103 million square feet, and now we're at about 94 million square feet. So what's happened is buildings are being repurposed. So old, tired office buildings are actually being torn down, and they're being converted to data centers, to industrial, to retail, even to multifamily. So we're in this resetting mode. And right now, like you said, the vacancy's high. It's at like 33%. But we anticipate that is going to go down because we also are assuming that there's going to be more buildings taken down. And there's another about 3 million square feet that's earmarked to be torn down in the next 2 years.
That's interesting.
So it's going to get better.
Yeah. Chris,
Okay,
how does this compare to downtown? We're looking outside right here, Michigan and Lake. Is it kind of the same, or is it much more?
Downtown market, the vacancy is a little bit better. It's about 27% vacant. they're going through the same thing we are, with companies, figuring out this hybrid model. But the good news is companies are finally making decisions. They're actually doing something. And what's key is the trend follows the suburbs and downtown is this flight to quality. Companies want to go to the very best buildings, the trophy Class A, but they need less space. So we're seeing, if you look at the Class A market, the trophy buildings, you're probably at a vacancy of under 10%.
I wanted to ask you, because during the pandemic, even here, we had a lot of people that were working at home. Even some of our talent that was on screen were literally in places inside of their home. In part, is that part of what, forced a lot of businesses to pivot in the first place? And then overall, when you look at this, because I look at things, kind of like in a cylinder, in a circular motion, and I think there's some type of ripple effect, because if people aren't in these buildings, then, maybe the gas station isn't getting as many patrons. Maybe some of the restaurants aren't seeing as many people for lunch. If you can answer to that point.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So once COVID hit, from that 20 to really 23, most companies had employees in maybe 1 to 2 days a week. And it wasn't until literally the last 24 months, we've actually seen companies, a lot of companies say, you need to come in at least 3, 4, even 5 days a week. But still, even that lack of foot traffic has impacted some businesses. So retail has been affected. Restaurants has been affected, especially food service that's actually offered in these office buildings. Some of them had to close down because of the lack of foot traffic. And in the suburbs, with these older quality buildings, what's happening, and it could be a positive effect on the economy. Some of these old tired buildings that have sat vacant for a long time, they could be torn down and repurposed for multifamily, for retail, for even industrial. So there is, in the suburbs, there is some positive that can come out of this with these old tired buildings.
Not to, hopefully you can answer this, but we compared the suburban stats here to the city. What about with other major cities? Is it kind of the same trend going on that we're seeing here in Chicagoland as, say, I don't know, Atlanta or somewhere in California, one of those big cities?
It is. This trend is common really for all big cities. Chicago, any of the big cities is seeing the same thing, and that these companies have taken a long time to figure out, what their true workspace needs are. But the good news is they figured it out. They typically need less space, and they want to go to the nicer buildings with the nice amenities. So they want to make sure the buildings have food service. They want to make sure they have good conference centers, and then also tenant lounges. So the true Class A buildings, we call it this flight to quality. Companies want to go to the very best buildings, and you're seeing this across the country.
I'm happy to hear you kind of explain that, because here in Chicago, at least Illinois overall, a lot of times it comes into political debate, that, we're not welcoming, and so that's why businesses are leaving. And I'm not saying that in part is not the case, but to also see it mirrored in other places kind of, lays it out that it may not all be politics at play as well. I want to ask you, with these vacancies, we are in a building where we've seen a lot of restaurants, especially restaurants. When it comes to restaurants around this particular building, they are far and few between. What are landlords doing? What are some of these building owners doing in the event that they are dealing with, this high vacancy rate? What are they doing to kind of keep the people there that they already have?
Yeah, so the landlords typically are putting money into their office space. So what they do is they need to upgrade the amenities. They need to make their tenants happy. So conference centers are really big. Because of this hybrid model, a lot of times teams are only coming in 2-3 days a week. So they really need state-of-the-art conference centers. So building owners are putting in nice conference centers. They're also making sure there's some sort of food service. So it could be maybe they don't make the food there. Maybe they bring the food in, and it's kind of what we call a grab and go, but fresh food's coming in every day. And then a lot of office building owners are also putting in coffee stations. Coffee seems to be a big driver for companies. Want to make sure their employees can, get a cup of coffee at 3 p.m. and have space to collaborate in. So yeah, landlords, to keep up with keeping their buildings occupied, they have to put money into with respect to their amenities.
Some of these things sound fabulous. Yeah. I mean, we have a nice place here at Fox, honestly, but some of these places, all right, fresh food being catered and everything.
Yeah, a nice coffee bar.
But, that being said, yes, you mentioned how, some of these vacant buildings would be torn down so they can make these kind of grade A buildings. So obviously they're having to have people promise to come in once it is built. And it seems like the price would be kind of astronomical, right? If they're tearing down this building and then building this brand new great facility.
Yeah, it's, in the suburbs, you got to deal with the villages. It depends on the neighborhoods. There's some areas of Chicago, the neighborhoods don't want to see trucks coming in and out, if they're going to demo the building and build an industrial. But what we've seen in the suburbs, and you've seen it downtown as well, is multifamily. So there's been this major surge with really nice multifamily being built. But again, you got to deal with the villages because of schools. And then the other thing too you're seeing is a lot of new retail popping in.
I do want to ask you when it comes to vacancy, because I remember covering this story not too long ago about the vacancy rate specifically in downtown Chicago, because you do also have a lot of condo buildings in downtown Chicago as well. Does that in some way impact residents that are living near some of these places where there's a building that, once had this huge company there and now it is vacant? Does that trickle down to homeowners in any way?
Well, it could, it definitely could impact with respect to what's around those buildings, lack of retail, lack of amenities, if these buildings are going dark. So, and it's been challenging for some of these office buildings to convert themselves to residential, to multifamily, because the way the buildings are designed for an office building, not designed for a multifamily. So yeah, the area that's been hit the hardest in downtown Chicago has probably been that central loop, down on LaSalle Street.
Yeah, but I could see that for sure.
Yeah, but yet you see all this construction going on, like with the Google building and stuff that's going to be built, and all that kind of stuff.
You can go get it if you want.
Is there it sounds like we have some background noise going on.
Yeah.
Is that on our end or is that on your end?
It's not me.
Okay. It's a mystery phenomenon. But I want to ask you, I don't know, again, if you can answer this, but is there a couple of suburbs that really stand out to you that are, really seeing, low vacancy rates?
Yeah. Probably the number one submarket in the suburbs is the O'Hare market. So the reason why O'Hare does so well, it's very central to all the suburbs, so it's really easy for people from Naperville to Northbrook to get to. And what's great about O'Hare is the accessibility for public transportation. So obviously the blue line from the city goes right into O'Hare. So O'Hare typically does the best. They have the lowest vacancy. And then the other submarket that does real well is the eastern portion of the western suburbs. So that Oak Brook area does really well, and they got some really nice high quality office buildings. So we actually lease a building in the western suburbs called 3500 Lacey, and that building is one of the nicest buildings, and it's 94% leased because of the location and also because of the quality.
I could totally see that. Oak Brook is so nice.
It is nice. Most people want to live there too because you get a nice little tax break compared to some of the other suburbs as well. I wanted to ask you, is there, aside from maybe Oak Brook, for example, is there like a suburb right now? We think of suburbs for like hot spots for people that have maybe they want to start a family, maybe they're looking at the schools, maybe they're looking at the parks. Is there like a hot spot right now for where companies are going in one of these suburbs surrounding Chicago?
Well, Oak Brook is definitely one of them. you know, you mentioned Oak Brook, and we've seen a big drive in the north suburbs. So, you know, the product in, you know, there's not a lot of office product, but like in Glenview and Northbrook, and as you go further north, like up into Lake Forest, you know, those markets typically are driven by healthcare companies and pharmaceutical companies. And there's definitely been an increase in activity. This is not a healthcare company, but just recently in Deerfield, which is right up in that area, Fortune Brands leased 350,000 square feet and are bringing in over 1,000 people into the state of Illinois. These people live in other parts of the country. So, yeah, I'd say those are kind of the hot spots right now.
All right. Chris
Hot spots,
Cummins,
for sure.
thank you so much for joining us. You're just a wealth of information, as always. I know that you're a friend of the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next time.
We'll have him back for an update.
All right. Take care.
All right, coming up, we are talking with Block Chicago.
They were ready. Did you hear them? I think that's who was cutting in the interview.
Our friend John. We're going to have to put him on the spot
excited
to
to
see
get
what
here.
was up with that. He's trying to sabotage. That's not being patient. All right, we're going to be talking with John Hanson here in a little bit. Some of the top headlines that are going on right now in Chicago. We'll be right back.
I'm a tiny...
Welcome back to Chicago Now. Yes, you heard Tia Ewing's beautiful singing voice.
Was it beautiful?
Briefed in. All right, as we do every Thursday, we talk to Block Club Chicago, some of the greatest and best headlines. But right now, we're bringing John Hanson. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Sorry you heard me on air 7 minutes ago when you weren't supposed to.
Okay, like we said, we're glad you kept it clean. We know you, John. We know you.
I got lucky, baby. I tell you what.
You got lucky.
No,
I know. I didn't realize I had the power to come on through into Fox earlier than I thought I could, but I'm really glad I kept it clean.
You know what's funny? Any other show, we just ignore it. This show, we have to.
Yeah, we have to say something.
We have to.
It's hilarious.
All right.
It happens. It's live television. This stuff happens.
John, this first one that we're talking about, this first topic that we're talking about is interesting because usually when we think about the snowplow names, you know, you're trying to find the like kitschiest or like funniest
very funny
names to, you know, submit.
Plow down.
But right now, it's, you know, very timely. It seems like 9,200, excuse me, abolished ICE was submitted as a name.
Yeah, so we got our hands on every single submission. We FOIA'd and got it.
You got mine too.
We saw yours somewhere. I don't know which one was yours, but we saw everybody's because it's all government records. And there were 13,300 submissions. And I was just shocked. We were shocked that 9,200 of them, that's 70% of them, were exactly abolish ICE. And I know there was a campaign for it, right? So people were going in. But when you include like other anti-ICE sentiments like icebreaker, ICE be gone, no more Mr. Ice Guy, those are some other ones, you got up to 79%. So nearly 80% of the city, those were the submissions. Now, this is not a scientific poll. I know there's a lot of anti-ICE sentiment out there. I know there's a lot of pro-ICE sentiment out there. But it was the anti-ICE sentiment that came through strongest with these submissions. Although there were some other good ones. And now I'm curious what yours was.
I submitted 3. And the one that I remember is Bear Down. I think is what I put, Bear Down.
I was telling her, that's a good one. That's a good one. But I was telling her, like, with AI and stuff, it's going to be hard.
Yeah,
it's
that
tough
wasn't
competition
clever.
out there. It's tough competition out there.
Here's a couple I liked. Can I give you a couple?
Yeah, I want to hear what you like.
Snow Lord.
Snow Lord.
Okay, that wasn't one for me.
Snowplow Winfrey.
Snowplow Winfrey.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And how about the Pope Mobile in honor of the Pope? There were some other Pope
That
ones
has
there
to
too.
win. That has to win. So my question for you, John, is do you guys pull these records every single year, or do you guys get like an inkling because of the Abolish ICE movement that you wanted to grab these records?
It was the latter of the two. We haven't, I don't think, to my knowledge, we FOIA'd for the full results in previous years. But one of our investigative reporters who knows how to do all this stuff and has access to this sort of stuff was able to get it. And it was really interesting. I expected, obviously, a ton of Abolish ICE ones. It just kind of jumped out that it was so many. And again, right, the mayor even endorsed that as a name. So I think that led to a lot of people airing their frustrations. And, the submissions were taken even before everything was happening in Minneapolis. It was primarily during the end of Operation Midway Blitz here. Look, it was the story of last year, right? I mean, in Chicago, maybe the biggest story in our city since COVID, probably. So I think that you're going to get a lot of, when you ask this audience for submissions or things for years, I'm sure we're going to see stuff like this, at least while it's still on top of the news.
Do you think that it is a probability that this will be the name of the plow based on the city's reaction to these submissions? Do you think it is a probable thing? Because like you said, some people are pro-ICE. We have a lot of people that are anti-ICE. It can be controversial. What do you think here?
Yeah, and look, tensions are really high right now, so will it be? I wouldn't be surprised if they end up going with that, just because the mayor has kind of endorsed this as well. Should it be? I mean, that's a whole other discussion, right? Because rhetoric is high, tensions are high right now, and even if people were to agree with the sentiment of abolish ICE or getting ICE out of the city, we certainly are at a time where maybe de-escalating, maybe being a little calmer or chilling out a little bit more, or at least trying to, maybe that should win over. But then again, I think 79% of the people who submitted some anti-ICE sentiment would say no. I mean, this is how we protest. You ask for a submission, it fits really well. It's about getting rid of ICE on the streets. So literally the snowplows. So I would guess that this is going to be the winner, and I'm sure then you're going to see commentary all over the place being like, this is ratcheting up, this is going to cause violence or potentially violence against ICE agents, which of course most reasonable people do not want. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn on this one.
I think it's interesting too because so many people submitted, so you have to go with the first person that submitted, and like, are we talking 2 seconds apart submission? Like,
yeah. Do you guys remember the previous winners? Do you remember the previous winners?
We actually
had a winner. One of our coworkers, Mrs. O'Leary's Plow.
Mrs. O'Leary's Plow. The first. Wasn't it the first?
He was the first ever winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of our coworkers.
We're full.
There was Bozo the Clown, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
And Skilling it in honor. I know he's from a competitor, but Tom Skilling, legendary meteorologist.
True.
So.
True.
Very true.
Who?
And that's all I've got. That's all I remember.
I don't want to be in anybody's video for anybody thinking that we're joking. So no, because they like to make YouTube videos and
I follow him and
come back.
I see all his Hawaii pictures.
I'll come back.
Cute.
Patch it up, Gabby. Patch it up.
For real. I have nothing but love, honestly.
I do too.
Honestly,
it's so good.
And as you know, when we're in the field, we're all friends. Like, for
that's
the most
true.
part.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all friends.
And I watched him growing up. I watched Tom Skilling growing up.
For sure. Okay, let's
And he's
switch
like the
subjects,
nicest guy
though.
ever, which helps.
Yeah,
Except for
that's
Jake.
true.
Jake Hamilton might be nicer, but it's close.
Jake Hamilton.
He is nice.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He is.
Let's talk about Second City. We got to switch subjects.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
You want me to start? I'll just give you this
go
one.
ahead, because I'm laughing.
I figured as much. You guys control yourselves over there. I'll get you through this one.
Thank you.
So Second City has two stages, right? The main stage has been around since the late 50s, iconic. So many stars have come through there. The ETC stage has been around now for 44 years, incredibly. And this is where things were like a little edgier. This is where they wanted to put some of their up-and-coming folks to try and get a chance, maybe a smaller audience and different show times. And what they're doing now, and this is confusing to some people, is this review this year. That was a great picture, by the way.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, wait, what's going on there?
Yeah. I was like, what's happening there? Anyways, they are doing a full improv show for their review this year. Now, some people might be like, wait, isn't Second City all improv? And that's where it's a little confusing because we have great long-form improv in our city. And the way Second City works typically is the actors get together and they improv a lot of things during practice, during rehearsals, and they try and find themes and find characters that then they develop and put on as a show. And that is a sketch show then, because it's been kind of written out. They know where they're going to go. Maybe there's still some improv here or there. But for the main part, Second City is sketch comedy. But what this other stage is going to do, this ETC stage, is they're going kind of back to the roots and going full improv. Which, having done both sketch comedy and improv, not to the level of Second City, but they're completely different beasts, and it's really interesting to see the audience. Your expectations are different going in, knowing that there's that photo again, knowing that you are going to be. I can't stop looking at that. So it's just interesting, right? They've done it for 44 years, sketch comedy. Now they're going to try and do improv. They're going to do like a little short form improv, which is like, if you've watched Whose Line Is It Anyways, like quick interactions. And then what I think is the greatest, and it's our greatest export in Chicago. It's long form improv. We invented it here at the IO Theater. It's taking one suggestion and essentially making a 30-minute play out of it. Wow. And that's really the bread and butter of what we do here in Chicago in the comedy scene.
That'd be so much pressure.
Yeah, but
it's fun though, guys.
It's fun.
It is pressure, but like, it's amazing how these actors who are really good at improv, they take like a job, a suggestion, one line someone throws out, and they just start to like build these themes slowly. And having been a part of improv teams that do well, it's a matter of like trusting each other. And the main motto in improv is yes and that is like what it essentially means is if you make a suggestion or if you as a character come out and say something, the other actors are going to support it. We're going to build on top of that. And that has been a principle that I think a lot of people that know improv and stuff and comedy know, but they've also tried to start teaching that in corporate settings as well. In fact, a lot of people go to Second City in business groups. Maybe some of our viewers have done this before, and they try and teach improv skills because it really is about team building. So it is a very difficult skill, but it's better with a team. And that's why, like, when you go see an improv show, you kind of like, there's not like one star of the show, right? It's everyone kind of building up on top of each other.
And if you think about it, we do improv
I was just thinking the same
all
thing.
The time.
This is an improv show, you know, John.
Well, it is. No, I mean, 100%. I mean, and you guys support each other, right? Like if someone were to make a mistake or to say something a little sillier, your instinct isn't to put them down in front of the audience. Well, usually not. But the idea is to build them up, right? Yeah. And by doing that, it makes the entire show better, whether it's TV, whether it's improv. And so this ETC stage, which stands for Experimental Theater Company, some people just say Second City, etc. We'll be doing this. So, and there's that picture. And we all need to support as many theaters as we can so people check it out.
Yeah, he was in a really tough position.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the guy from 30 Rock, right?
Yes, it is.
Maybe
looks like
we could recreate that photo if anyone wanted to.
I don't want to recreate that photo. Not with my face. Okay, well, talking about.
Want me to do it right now or no?
Let's try it. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
And we're like holding up the feet. See, this is why we need you here. It's just not fair.
Yeah, I need to sprawl across the chair.
It's not real until you're here. John.
Cool.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wait, let me see.
Because in improv, you're supposed to hold it. You guys did not support me on that.
I've never done any improv, so I wouldn't know. Other than this show, apparently.
Okay, well, let's talk about this because this is crazy. But you know what? I guess some people like to get into the thick of it. We're talking about the runners that refuse to let Chicago weather get them down. They're out there running still.
Yeah, shout out to our freelance reporter who took on this assignment, by the way, to literally stake out all up and down the Lakefront Trail and talk to the crazy runners. And this was, we're in the teens today. It feels balmy. This was last Friday, when it was I don't know, 15, 20, 30 below with the wind chills. And the reporter just kind of interviewed and chatted with different runners about why they're out there. This guy has said it's out of guilt. He has failed 2 past marathons. He's running another one soon. So he's like, I got to do it. I got to stay fast. Some people like it. They like the challenge of it. Maybe they are long distance runners in every season. Maybe they run races, as some of the folks said, in other places that are always cold, and they need to get ready for it. And, you know, honestly, with the depths of the winter we're in, we talk about seasonal affective disorder. We talk about the benefits of working out. For some people, they just said, I have to do this. I have to, you know, I layer up, I do it safely, but this is just part of who I am. And guys, we are in a stretch of like below freezing temperatures that is, I mean, it's not record breaking yet, but we're getting days and days and days, weeks now without getting above freezing. If that's going to be what stops you from running outside and that's your passion, that's what keeps you sane, then you can't stop for weeks. So I think that was kind of the overall message, is like, look, this is what I do to stay healthy, to stay mentally okay. And if I stop for 3 days, I'm going to stop entirely. And I think anyone that's ever kind of been a part of a running community, I think people get that.
Yeah, it's a freeing experience. I've done, you know, I've told you, Gabby, that I've run outside in the cold a few times. And honestly, I enjoy it. It's like a freeing experience. But here's a little suggestion for any of our single viewers, just based on some of those pictures. That's a good place to walk through.
Oh, yeah, they say
those some beautiful looking people.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Everyone looks great. That guy's not wearing any gloves.
No, I think you got to run along with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that weird? I don't know.
That guy has something going on because he's not wearing any gloves.
Well, it warms you up,
I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, it warms you up, though.
To the point where you can't wear any gloves.
Yeah, I like the fanny pack. This is good here.
Yeah, this is styling friends or couple, whoever. Yeah.
This guy's happy.
Yeah, that's a great photo.
He's
very good photo.
I was actually driving
I love how
on
now we're judging these runners based on their photos.
I just said that they all look nice. They were nice looking people.
Not judging, but we're, you know, we're commenting on that.
She has great skin. Maybe there's something to it.
Just saying.
I don't think that these runners knew that this was going to happen when we took their photos.
Probably
on the,
not. You know, I think that you guys should probably make that like a discrepancy when you are chatting with them.
I think it's awesome. I also love running outside. I haven't run since we had David because I don't have any time to do that. But I miss it. I miss being out there. And you know, I run in the track at the gym or in the treadmill. But there's something about like the cold air, like when you breathe it on in, it feels good, right?
But you guys,
it's different. It's true.
We were at like what was the feels like on Friday, Saturday?
I don't remember. It was negative 25.
I agree.
It was like 35 below zero.
I like the outdoor walk, winter walk, but that's crazy. That's crazy. But good for them. You're right. It needs to keep on track.
That's to us. It may seem crazy. To them.
Gabby, not on board.
I'm sorry. I'm judging.
Pass.
I'm sorry.
We listen and we don't judge.
You're right. You're right.
Yes, and Gabby, remember those are the lessons.
Yes, and.
That's true.
Yes, and.
I'll get it together at some point, guys.
All right.
All right.
You gotta come back in.
That's all I got for you. Guys want to talk about anything else?
You gotta come inside.
I'm sure you got more important things to talk about.
When you get some time, you gotta come join us right here. Whenever you get.
I started to keep on looking over here. I can see David playing with some stuff on the floor over there.
David.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we don't.
Rico's over there. He's got an eye on him though, so we're good. One day, how would I bring him in one day onto the camera at the end of the shot?
That'd be great.
We need a good actual 10 minutes just for that. So it's like half our show. Anyways, John Hanson, thank you so much for joining us as always. We will see you. Guess what? Next Thursday.
You better believe it. Thanks, guys.
See you then. All right, I see some drums coming up in here.
Oh, yeah.
It's my kind of party on a Thursday.
I'm telling you, you stay for the entire show. Yeah. We have great stuff leading up. But the end of today's show, we're going to get you pumped up. And I'm tired, so I'm hoping this is going to kind of wake you up.
Did you have your coffee today?
I had 2 cups of coffee.
Okay, I've had none. But maybe it's just not strong enough for you anymore.
I don't know. I guess I need a little something extra.
All right, we're going to talk about something pretty serious here, but in a positive way, actually, because the numbers are going in the reverse direction. We've talked about opioid overdoses being up in Cook County, but now we can actually report that they're down, and we're going to have an expert breaking all those numbers down for us right after this short break. Welcome back to Chicago Now, 11:36 on your Friday Eve. We told you that, we're talking about something serious, but at least the numbers are going in the reverse direction now. And we're talking about the opioid overdose crisis in Cook County. The numbers are down, and that's why a lot of advocates are saying awareness is so important. We want to bring in someone really important into this conversation, Dr. Keisha House, APRN, FNP, Assistant Director of the Substance Use Disorder Center of Excellence at Rush. Thank you so much for joining us. Keisha, is there any way that you can get a little more light on your face by any chance? I don't know if you could make that happen, but it is really dark on your end. So if possible, if you could get that to work, that would be awesome. But I do want to, we're already here, so I do want to talk to you about this. We are reporting here that overdoses are down in Cook County. What is this really, what would you attribute this trend to? Is it the fact of awareness and really a lot of nonprofit organizations being boots on the ground to make this happen?
Well, I will attribute it to, and first, thank you all for having me. I will attribute this to the multifactorial work that's being done, right? Overdose deaths is a multifactorial problem. So we are attacking this epidemic, that's really what it is, with various levels. So initially what we're doing, boots on the ground, you have those community organizations like the Southside Heroin and Opioid Task Force, the Westside Heroin and Opioid Task Force. Then you have centers of excellence or leadership centers like Rush, where I work, the Substance Use Center, the Substance Use Disorder Center of Excellence, where we educate providers, meaning primary care providers, OB-GYNs, social workers, counselors, you name it, on how to assess, diagnose, and treat individuals with substance use disorders. And then you have, like, our legislation. Governor Pritzker signed many laws into effect, some that took place in 2024 that allowed access to Narcan, which reverses overdoses, in all schools, all school districts throughout the state of Illinois. Additionally, the new law went into effect this January 2026, where Narcan will be in every library in the state. So we are doing things on a multi-level to address this issue, which is really dramatically affecting our communities.
That sounds great. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of things attributing to this and a lot of work that's been done. There we go. Now we have that close-up image of you, and it does look a little bit better with the backlights now on your beautiful face. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Do you have any numbers? I don't want to, put you on the spot, but do you have any numbers that really tell us and tell the audience how things are kind of going on a better trend? But I understand there's still a lot of work to be done.
So you are correct. The numbers do reflect a trend that states that overall the overdoses are decreasing. I do have some numbers. Give me 2 seconds. I'll have that for you. Okay. It does show that the numbers are decreasing. However, in marginalized communities, Black and brown communities, those numbers are not decreasing, right? So in terms of Cook County, so sorry, I have it here.
No, please. You know what? This is a casual show. We like to keep it kind of relaxed.
No, it's totally fine.
And looking.
No, it's totally fine. So, according to the CDPH, or the Chicago Department of Public Health, the numbers from 2025, I'm actually pulling up the actual document from you all, versus in 2023. And you know how when you need to find some information,
that's okay,
things are really slow.
While you're looking, I do want to ask you this, because you said something to me that really is a little jarring. So we're reporting that the numbers are down, but it sounds like in some of the communities that are more vulnerable maybe than others, those numbers are not down. Black and brown communities being the communities that you just talked about. Why is that? Is it that a lack of resources are going to those communities, and so the word is not being spread as fast in those communities? What would you contribute the lack of decline to in those areas?
I would attribute the lack of decline to lack of access. So African Americans and brown Americans in our country are less likely to receive medication for opioid use disorder even after an overdose. So that access to care of buprenorphine, which is the medication that we prescribe here at Rush, and or methadone, which are medications for opioid use disorder. You know, in our communities, we're told, or you're changing one drug for another, which is not true. Illicit drugs like fentanyl or nitazene and xylazine, which are adulterants, has been put into the drug supply. There's no real heroin anymore. It's all synthetic opioids, which are 100 times more potent than heroin or morphine itself. So when you have this lack of access to care, to providers, there aren't many providers that are prescribing in our state and throughout the United States. So where the recorded data in Cook County is that the opioid overdose deaths in 2025 was 687, which is a 40% drop from the previous year, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. You know, however, 31% of that 687 were African Americans. So as you can see, the decline is great, and we're so happy because we're doing so much work. But when half of those cases are in Black and Brown communities, something is missing. There's still inequities regarding how that help, how that treatment, how those prescriptions are being equally given out to those marginalized communities.
So what can we do at home? Like for, you know, people at home who are watching, is it raising awareness? Is it putting funds towards one thing or another? Is it talking to maybe their elected officials on where to put some of the funding? I guess, what can we do?
So about 65% of people who overdose at home. So let me just say that. Mm-hmm. 2, anybody can overdose. If you have a grandma or a grandpa who has memory issues and maybe they forgot to take their pain medicine that day, they can overdose, right? If you've had a procedure, Lord knows I've had several procedures. I didn't take the prescribed opioids for me. I left them in the bathroom. Had my daughter got a hold to it, she could have accidentally overdosed. No one is trying to overdose. They're trying to escape. They're trying to get out of pain from the trauma in their mind or the pain in their body. So no one is attempting to just overdose on purpose. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, yes, funding is absolutely needed. You need to hire more Dr. Houses. You need to hire more lived experience people. There was a minister at my church who used to say, you can't show where you don't go, or you can't lead what you don't know. So lived experience persons, people who have had substance use issues and now are in years of sobriety, they come on to teams and they help other individuals because they're able to explain the struggle and help them through the struggle. You need more counseling. This is a multifactorial problem. It isn't just write a prescription and then you're done. What about if they're homeless, if they need jobs, if they're within the legal system? All of those issues have to be addressed in order for a person to stay sober or in recovery, as we say, and to help them along the way. But the medication is the most important part, because I would rather you take a prescription that is controlled, that you have a physician or a nurse practitioner like myself monitoring and helping you along the way, versus taking illicit drugs off the street that you just don't know what's in it. So yes, we need funds, and with current laws and things going on right now, a lot of funding has been cut. Truth of the matter. So, we are scrambling and we're scratching pennies together to continue to make this work happen for those people who are in the greatest need.
Well, Dr. House, we appreciate you talking so candidly about something that's really serious, but also very important in our community. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Yes, we will. Okay, we had HBCU in the band.
Wish I could play a drum. Baby, if I could play a drum.
Like anything.
Or if I was a majorette, you wouldn't be able to tell me nothing.
Come on. Okay, that's a hint. We have much more right after this break.
In my years at Nash Disability Law,
to Chicago Now. Drumline Live is an international tour based on the historically black college and university, HBCU, marching band tradition. All right, so this Sunday,
I can hear
you
it in my
can see
head.
them at the auditorium that is on 50 East Ida B. Wells, and they're proudly welcoming also Don P. Roberts, director and CEO, along with a few performers that are here as well. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure to be here.
Okay, let's talk about it. If people haven't heard about, the band, what kind of folks are in this performance?
They're absolutely incredible. They represent the best of the best from historically black colleges and universities from all across America. We've been around since 2008. If you saw Beyonce at Coachella in 2018, that was the band. We were the band behind her. If you have seen a lot of movies from Eddie Murphy to videos with Sierra, J. Cole, we do a lot of international things, but we have been to Japan 3 times, Korea, and more. I think almost every state in America except Hawaii and Alaska, and we're coming. So I think we're pretty doggone good.
I would say so.
How many people are a part of this? And then tell us about the practice. Like, you got to practice somewhere. Where are you practicing? How often do you practice?
All right, so we practice pre-production. It's about a week of rehearsals, of an intense rehearsal, about 10 hours per day that we rehearse. But again, our cast members represent the best, I would say the top 1% from the universities from all across America. They are not just average, they are above average. And it's an incredible show. We like to call ourselves the greatest show on stage. And I always tell people, I guarantee you that you will be satisfied with our show. And I also guarantee people they'll be standing on their feet within the first 5 minutes of the show.
I got to ask you, is anybody that is a part of this drumline from Chicago? Because I know you said a lot of, obviously they go to HBCUs, but that doesn't mean they're not from Chicago. Any Chicagoans in your band?
I don't think we have anybody from Chicago this year. Okay. But, we've had some Chicago affiliations, and we have a great relationship with Chicago State University, who's been accommodating us here. Roxanne Stevenson, the director of bands, that has been looking out for us. The local high school community. So we feel like we have some ties in here in Chicago.
And I think for people at home who are not familiar, like HBCU, like you guys do more than just a halftime show or more than just a show.
You gotta dance, you gotta be in fit.
Isn't there like some competition too? Like there's some almost like acting emotion in it.
All right, so I served as the executive band consultant for the movie Drumline. Okay. So basically I was responsible for training the actors, Nick Cannon, Orlando Jones, our choreographer is here that trained Zoe Zardano. So I was just a high school band director. And I tell people I didn't find Hollywood. Hollywood found me. So from there, that's how this whole thing began. I was a high school band director. Dallas Austin, Grammy Award-winning producer, loved my high school band and said, hey, man, I'm working on a movie. We'd love for you to be a part of it. And that's how this whole thing got started. And we've been rolling since 2008 with some of the best musicians from all across America.
So, I went to The Ohio State University, and they call it the best damn band in the land, but it really isn't. No shade, Ohio State. As an alumni, it really isn't when you compare the vibe that you get from an HBCU drumline. It is not the same. What's the difference? Where did that history come from that cannot be replicated at a school like where I went?
Well, first of all, shout out to Ohio State University. I have a great relationship with the band director there, and I think they're an incredible dynamic band. However, the HBCU band, it's different. We took the traditional marching and we added a little salt, a little pepper, paprika, a little seasoning to it, and we made it our own. And it's a beautiful thing. So you see so many Super Bowl halftimes. You see all these big performances, again, from Beyonce to Drake, and they're incorporating marching bands in it. And as you stated, we do so much more. We sing, we dance, we do classical, we do music from 1935 all the way up to present day music. So it's not just for the young folk, it's for grandmama, granddaddy, daddy, mom, everybody, 5 to 95. That's what we do.
I was just going to ask that question because I have a feeling that a lot of people, in case you missed it, they're playing at the auditorium. That's 50 East Ida B. Wells, and it's on Sunday, February 1st at 3 p.m. It's for all ages, so bring the kids, bring the family.
All ages, and again, people ask me what drumline, because it's hard to describe marching band on the stage. If you've ever been on a roller coaster ride and you're anticipating it and you get on it and you're a little nervous and it goes up and then it goes down and you're screaming and you're crying and you laugh and then you want to do it all over again, That's what we
this
are.
is. Okay,
That's
we're
what we
gonna
are.
let them play, but can I come over? I just want to hit it one time.
Yes.
I'm not really good at drums. I just want to hit it one time. I don't know. I always want to do this. Let's see. No, I'm not.
But it's-
What's the key? What's the key here?
Oh, okay.
There you go. All right,
Go.
now it's on y'all.
What? I didn't think it was gonna be that good.
I'm not good at all.
Remember when
That
we
was
had
not good. I got no
person
rhythm.
Bring in the, and make random stuff out of instruments. We could play music on that. I think we can play music on that.
Any final words before we let them take it away?
We are the greatest show on stage. You've never seen anything like us ever in your life. I don't care how many times you've been to theater. We are the best on stage, and I challenge anybody to tell me otherwise.
What about this performance? This performance, what is it going to be a little taste of?
All right, so this is just about what a small percentage of our group, and we have three drummers. We have about we have a much larger drum line, but these guys are amazing, as you will see, and I think the talent will speak for itself.
Let's let them take it away.
You guys take it away. Go ahead.
Listen, if you guys are gonna do this for the greatest show on stage, then we're gonna do this the right way. And you.
Go get your tickets.
And you can see them at the auditorium on Sunday at 3 p.m. Drumline Live. Thank you guys so much for coming in. The talent that we have here shown on Chicago Now. We will see you tomorrow.
All right, have a great day.
This Morgan video was not approved.